Welcome friends to the video. Hope you are doing really good today. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about overstimulation and DPDR and anxiety and why it happens and some things that you can do to help you. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Dan and I help people overcome their anxiety and their DPDR using coaching. And if you are a subscriber, then welcome back. So with things like overstimulation, you might find that when you're at home, things are sort of relatively normal for you, but when you do go out to say do shopping or just go outside to do whatever, then you really feel overstimulated. It might be that the lights are too bright or the noises are too sharp and too crisp, and you really just take notice of everything. And also you might find that your anxiety gets worse and your symptoms get worse as well, including the symptom of being overstimulated when you are out. And that is sort of the real reason why this is happening right now, because when you're anxious, we sort of go into, fight, flight, or freeze mode. And in all of these modes, except for freeze, our body is preparing for some kind of danger that's going to happen. And this is just sort of your body amazingly doing what it's doing through the massive amount of time of human history, which is to basically keep you safe. But the only trouble is, of course, is that when you are out at the shops or at an event or whatever, there's nothing to actually be scared of. There's no danger there except for the danger that we bring there ourselves, or the sort of habitual thinking that you've had when it comes to being anxious, such as, what if I have a panic attack here, and oh my God, I feel slightly breathless, and all the other symptoms that come along with it. So what do you do in an instance like this? Well, one of the best things that you can do is to do a measured response to it. Now, what do I actually mean by a measured response? It means instead of reacting, you're responding. So you can think of like a reaction as something that's just second nature to you. Some of these are uncontrollable. Like if somebody does a silly thing, like just as a joke, scare you, you're instinctively going to flinch, or you're going to go, or whatever, and you're going to feel this sort of surge of adrenaline go through you, and that's to prep you. And what I mean by taking the fear with you is that right now you're in the habit of seeing the world through the eyes of fear, which is probably why you feel so safe or safer at home, because it's your safe place, you're very familiar with it. But when you go outside, there is the chance for lots of unfamiliar and unknown things to happen. And because you're seeing the world through a state of what's going to get me, what's going to attack me, I know that I'm going to get scared because I always get scared when I go out, and I know that lights affect me when I go into a shop and all these things. You're sort of already expecting that. And when you expect it, what you want to do, instinctually, is look for that stuff. So if you look for that stuff, then you can see that threat, and then you can, make yourself feel safer. Now, the only sort of issue with this is that in a shop or at a party or whatever, there is no actual threat. It's just life going on as normal. But you're seeing that through the eyes of somebody who's quite scared right now. So when it comes to responding versus reacting, the reaction that you have is everything that is brought up by the anxiety, which is everything that I just mentioned in terms of seeing the world through that. But if you respond to it, it means that you're aware of what's happening, and you're aware of perhaps what thoughts are going through your mind right now, but you're going to choose to respond in a way that is helpful to you. And so, for example, when this would happen to me, because it did happen to me, and I went out, and this would happen, I'd basically become a bit more present with it, and I'd label it for what it is. I'd say, okay, everything's really bright right now, and I'm feeling a bit overstimulated. Really, it's just the anxiety, and it's also being magnified by my sort of oversensitized nervous system right now. And I'm just going to get on with what's happening. And I wouldn't try and fight it. I wouldn't try and block it out or push it away or wish that it wasn't there or just instantly try some technique just to change anything. I'd simply just remind myself about what was happening. And even if I did continue the rest of that time, in that experience, I was able to take away a lot of the power and the significance that was happening there. Because you see, if you actually respond to it, then you're sort of subconsciously telling yourself that really there's nothing to fear here. Even if you do still feel scared, you're just reminding yourself that it really is just the anxiety. But if you react to it, you keep reminding yourself again and again that this is something to be scared of and there is an actual danger out there. And so what that is going to do is, heighten the anxiety, and then the symptoms are going to get worse. And the great thing about this way of responding is that you can do it anywhere. And I want to sort of pose this to you as well, because maybe it's something that you haven't considered, is that if you react in a certain way, let's just say you're saying to yourself, I don't like this, I don't want to be here. Probably the chances are is that you had some really bad experience and you're worried about that experience happening again. Now, the absolute sort of truth here is that, sure, it might happen again. It might not happen again. It might happen again, but in a much weaker state. It might never happen again. You don't actually know this, but you're sort of going into this situation with the presumption, based on your past history and based on all that filter information that's coming through that anxious history-based sort of filter that you've got right now, is that something bad is going to happen. And then so over time, it is going to become more second nature to you to respond in this way. And this is the thing which is going to really play a significant part in you recovering, because all of this is just about anxiety. And it's a symptom of anxiety. So if you're always scared about something, if you're always preempting something, or if you're scared of the possibility of being scared or of the symptoms coming, then you're just sort of making it all come true, and this is a way that you can stop it from coming true, and a way that you can retrain yourself into having a much more realistic sort of thought pattern about what's actually happening here, rather than the sort of anxious heightened pattern that you've got right now. And so, my friends, I really do hope that you found this useful. And if you do have any questions, please leave a comment. And until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.